Okay, here we are with round 4 of our 1940 Axis and Allies global game from the Hilltop Pillbox in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And we are through the German, Soviet, Japanese, and American turns. Since there was quite a bit there, I thought I would have those ones grouped together. And we'll just get a bit of an update here on what goes on. For Germany, looks like we've moved into Leningrad, and we've done a little bit of a punch here in the south. Klaus, you want to tell us a little bit about what transpired here? Ja, und the Russians, they simply moved out of the area, and so we moved in. Again, it was like we were fighting in France for a second time. There was nobody there, nobody shooting at us at all. It was very boring, but we were happy for it. Unfortunately, we're out of the U-boats. They have been sunk by the Americans, and they have also done some nasty things up there. I'll let them explain themselves. But we have most of our Air Force back here in the Germany area to perhaps keep the British from getting the idea of rebuilding the Royal Navy, which right now is being used as a tourist attraction for the fish and the bottom dwellers in the North Sea. We are moving here in the south, and we build the little factory there. See, 3 shiny new tanks. They go bang bang into the Soviet Union. And we want to say that the little red houses that you have put out here for the victory cities are very stylish, and we are thankful because it gives us a nice target so we know where to attack next. Okay, well, you're welcome. I guess counter to that, wouldn't you say that the Soviets now have something nice to aim for when they counterattack? Yeah, and you talk too much. Okay, well, Ivan, obviously the Germans are moving in here. Lock, stock, and a lot of tank barrels. What do you think? We are not concerned. We are doing our fine best to save Moscow. And the rest, it's... we are not worried about the Germans. They have many tanks, they have many planes, but we have men. Look at the men, the stack of men. And we built another fighter to perhaps take out a few more when they attack. But we have 2 turns at least until they do a concerted effort against Moscow, and we will be ready for them. And we have our eastern reinforcements almost home. Hurry up, boys. All right, thank you very much, Ivan. Japan. You've had an interesting game thus far. Old Emperor Hirohito here is going to catch us up on things. Well, what do you figure there, Hero? Are you feeling good about the way things are going right now?
Yes, we always know that the war is progressing exactly according to plan.
Okay, I see that China kind of took back a couple little territories here that caused you a little bit of grief, but you've almost wiped them out there. How are you feeling about the land war here in China?
This is good practice for when we come down to India and attack. This is not a concern. They are down to 7. And they just put their build on, so they have everybody they are going to get. And now we will kill them with our aircraft and our superior men.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I see you built some transports here at home.
Yes, we must reach out and show the world the superiority of the Japanese. And we can only do this with boats.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I see that you've also come down to the Money Islands, and you've got 1 island, and 2. You had Borneo last turn, and you've just captured Java down here. you want to give us a little hint as to where you're headed next? Because you got a little bit of trouble here. You're between a small Anzac fleet. They do have a battleship, and they do have some planes here. And then you also have the Far East Command, the Indian fleet here. You know, they both attack before you get to move again. Are you a little concerned about that?
Not at all. Excuse me, I have to go make a phone call now.
All right, let's see what the Americans did here on their turn. We remember that big battle that happened here, and all the Japanese and American fleets both got annihilated. And so the Americans, it looks like they're putting some money here into the West. They built up some stuff here on the last turn, and they've sortied a small fleet, and they're headed this way. We're not really sure what's going to happen there. Tex, you want to tell us what's going on? Well, like I say, it's just a small sortie. We're just heading on out here and just seeing what we see. We see there's not a lot here in Japan right now. Unfortunately, they get to go next, so I don't think we're going to be able to do much with them. But perhaps we can take a little bit of pressure off them the other peoples that the Japanese are getting all uppity with here. On the other side here, we had some fun. We done sunk both the U-boats that were left, and then we landed here in Norway. And it ain't much, but you know, to start, it's a bit of a pushback here against Nazis, and we're hoping that they're going to take a look at our American equipment and just give up. You know what I'm saying? Well, did you take a look at the German equipment? Yeah, that could be a problem there. I figure we could have some losses up here when they bring their boat there, and then some aircraft. Maybe there could be some losses. What kind of losses are you talking, Tex? Oh, I figure total. But hey, we can build more. We got lots of them factories, and ain't nobody bombing them, so we should be all right. We bring everything on over. All right, well, let's see what happens in the rest of turn 4, and we'll see if your prognostication comes true. Nah, I never had a prognostication. I seen a doctor. It's okay now. Okay, so here we are with the rest of turn 4, and we had some pretty exciting things happen. We'll just take a quick gander around. We're going to come down here first. What we saw here was a big battle here. Had the Japanese, had a couple of battleships, a destroyer and a cruiser and a transport in here. And India came down from their base, and they brought a battleship and a cruiser and some planes. I think they had a destroyer as well. And they brought some planes and then landed the planes in Singapore, in Malaya. They also brought their transport here to Sumatra and took that, because $4 is $4. So do you want to tell us about that, India? What inspired you to do that? Well, I think most of our inspiration comes from the simple fact that we are broke, and we needed money. And we know that the Japanese would not give us a moment's rest, so we attacked. And we actually have just a damaged battleship left. But our friend the Australians have come on over to help us by protecting us from the Japanese fleet that is just north that could come down and have sunk us, but now they might think twice.
Think again.
Okay. So, looks like the Japanese are getting ousted here from their late bid for the Money Islands. Anzac has built a carrier down here, and why is that? Right, well, we have to look after our friends. So, built ourselves an aircraft carrier, right? And we'll sail that around, cause a bit of trouble. That's the plan. All right, well, good luck with that. And just heading over here to Africa, we had a major development. Looks like the Italians tried to attack. sensing that this factory that had just built 3 tanks would be a problem, but this was an utter disaster. Benito, you want to tell us what happened there? We did not have the dice rolls. They are like ravioli, bouncing around, and they landed not so good. Yeah, that's right. You did have a bombardment with a cruiser that hit, but then all of your troops here. I think you had 3 tanks. You had some planes. I think you had a bomber, 2 fighters, and a tactical that flew down from your base in southern Europe. You only got 3 more hits. You only killed 4 infantry, and then they had 8 dice coming back at you, or pardon me, 12 dice, and they got 8 hits. So that was pretty impressive for the British. When you say there, is it Nigel? Is that your name there? Jolly good, yes. Nigel is my name. And yes, it was a smashing success here in Africa. And we just like to thank the Italians for playing with us and doing what they do best, choking. So, yes, we actually were able to take Ethiopia back, and Haile Selassie is very happy with us. And we even landed some chaps in Morocco to start putting a little bit of pressure even on the Italians in North Africa. Yes, but you must see that the Italians do have a sizable transport fleet here and a lot of stuff that they can bring down here post-haste. But it does look like they had to land a tactical there, and I'm sure they didn't plan on that. Yes, well, war is a bit of a thing, isn't it? You really don't know what's going to happen, except that Britain will eventually win. Well, you've lost a couple. We're not going to get into that right now. All right, folks. Well, there's the board for the end of the 4th round, 4th turn. So you can see the lines being drawn here on the Eastern Front. The Americans have a bit of a presence in Norway, and the Italians have been pretty beat up here in Africa, but they do have a lot of stuff they can bring back in, and they've got a decent economy, getting 17 there. They're also convoying down here in Britain, although the roll failed, so better luck next time. India still looks pretty secure, but the Japanese, again, they have their sizable air force. The Chinese might not be in the next round. We'll have to wait and see what the Japanese do with that. But the Japanese have concerns in the water down here now that Far East Command and Australia, ANZAC, have been able to get their partnership going here on the Money Islands. Japan, looking a little sparse right now, but they do get to go next, and they do have a sizable economy. But there is the American fleet up here. They're sortieing out, and they also have another loaded carrier ready to go. All right, we'll be back with the beginning of turn 5 right away.